And after that, we went home, and the next day we sat there and we watched Chania Gabrielle's 2018 forecast to kind of like gauge where the different things are going to be occurring throughout the month. And it is so phenomenal how we're all naturally guided in this, especially when we're listening, like those of us that are in the spiritual realm that are listening. Like this month is all about, it literally is about the heart chakra and relationships, right? Because we're in a 2-year, which is 11-year too. So the 2 years about relationships too, which is the heart chakra, because when your heart chakra has been wounded or you've had heartbreaks, it makes it really hard to be in relationship. And like, so this month, especially with the whole Saturn return kind of thing, and the Saturn in retrograde, we're really being faced with relationship stuff right now.
Yeah.
The heart chakra, balancing that and opening that and just learning how to love from that, it really is so liberating. And one thing that I've realized is that all of these things that I'm saying are words. It's not until you actually experience living from your heart, being wide open and moving through the world in communication with other people and even the people you're in relationship with.
Yeah.
It's such a different way of living because we're used to speaking at people rather than making that soul to soul connection and then having a conversation, you know?
Right. Yeah.
So I'm so excited. And yesterday I went back to Sarah, who was measuring my chakras, and she was like, oh my gosh, your heart chakra fully opened. So whatever we did was amazing.
That's awesome. I love it. Yay.
Yeah, I love it too. So today is going to be all about the energy medicine and chakras and all of Lara's amazing expertise. So thank you for being here with us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we get started, as you all know how I do things, let's get connected to the heart. So everyone take a deep breath into your heart space. And just let it all go. Let all the moments go before this one, all the ones that are coming after this one, and just give yourself permission to begin the journey of allowing yourself to have an open heart. Your heart is 5,000 times more powerful than any other power point in your body, and your heart is where you manifest from. So if you want to get good at manifesting and be good at having love in your life, you have to have an open heart chakra. So we're just going to set an intention to heal all of those things that are in the way of us allowing ourselves to feel open-hearted and to be safe and open-hearted, and to ask the divine to flow love through those areas, to bring them to our awareness and dissolve them with love so that we can love each other. And then breathe into your heart again and set your ego and your critical mind to the side. Allow that gatekeeper that keeps you where you are to just be where it is, and hear any information that you need on your journey from your heart space, and allowing that to expand out into your reality so that you can receive all that you desire. And then I surround the space with the white light of divine love, and I call forth any angelic beings that would like to be here with us now to do so, to guide us, to love us, to bless us. And I thank you all for being here in this space with me, doing this work together all around the world, coming together at the same time to feel love, to express love, to be love for ourselves and for the world. So thank you all. And I say these things in the name of love. Amen.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay, that was great.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now that we're all open-hearted, let's talk about the heart chakra.
So in general, like, you know, we've already been over chakras. It's interesting because my two favorite colors are magenta and turquoise. And, you know, this is more of like you said, like the connection to the mother and the relationship to God and source energy and unconditional love and the relationships. And, you know, personally, as like, you know, in my family history, you know, the women have always been the overdoers, overgivers, overproducers, always meeting their partners 80% of the way down the football field and just expecting a 10 to 15 to 20%, you know, meeting point. And in general, like this whole chakra really, looking at this chakra really is helping me just address and notice how we either repeat these patterns with our family karma and or, you know, stop them in general. So when I think of the high heart chakra, I think about the ability to receive love in general and not being such a overproducer, overgiver. Can you hear me? Okay. In general. So that is like, you know, there's two separate types. I mean, there's people that have like more of a deficient heart, you know, chakra, and like in general, where they're more shy and timid and scared and fearful to express their feelings, that kind of thing, versus like the excess one, which is like, you know, over jealous, codependent, that kind of thing. And so when I look at my own patterns with this chakra and the energy of this chakra, it's, you know, I'm so much like my mom in that I overgive, I overproduce, I overdo. I don't allow myself to slow down enough to really let the other partner show up in a way that I can actually let them meet me more of the way down the football field before I can already get 80% out of the way. Right. And so, you know, I think of the energy of this chakra, it's like the unconditional love, source energy, the connection to the soul, which is God, which is love, which is like, you think of the mother that protects us. God energy protects us. You know, this is like the whole key to manifesting, like you said, anything and everything that you could ever dream of. And, you know, the main organ that is associated with this is the thymus. And it's interesting because the thymus is the one gland that is the biggest and largest when we're young. And when we can easily love and easily forgive and easily let go and easily be in the moment and connect. And the thymus is also connected to our ability to be telepathic, and really connects us to the angelic realms, and it connects us to our angels, to our guides, to our, you know, our counsel. And that relationship is the key to opening and keeping this like higher heart chakra open, not just like once a week, but if you can really tune in and open it either with the visualization, you know, with oils, with rose, you know, you really can, it's like drinking water, you know, it's like drinking water is great. But if we don't drink water on a consistent basis every day, all the time, then it's easy for our body to get sluggish. So, and I just, you know, this chakra is just, it's so cool because it's like, it's basically like the root chakra, how the root chakra is like our foundation, lower foundation. This is like our higher foundation, where it's like, you know, you can't really get anywhere without self-love. Right. And the unconditional love piece. So I think it's just really awesome and interesting in general to have the heart chakras be split as they are, because they're very similar in a lot of ways, but they're very different in a lot of ways as well. You know, this is like, I think of it as like just like the emotional highway. Like, you know, when our bodies get run down or tired, it's like we're processing we're pulling too much information in without slowing down enough to really integrate that God, that energy, that spirit energy, that love into our physical bodies, into our health.
Yeah, a lot of that is also from, you know, feeling fearful of living on earth, because a lot of us, especially as human, especially spiritual humans, are like, this is my last life. I'm not doing this stuff anymore. You know, you hear a lot of that talking, and that comes from a wounded heart center. So, you know, going back to what you said, even about your relationship and in your relationship and like learning that from your mother and all those things, we also adopt how to do relationships from watching our mothers. You know, it's monkey see, monkey do. So these are our patterns. We also learn how to be in relationship with men by how we were in relationship with our father. You know, if we learned that when we, you know, were a certain way, we got what we wanted, we would continue to do that. And a lot of times that would take us having to be manipulative to get what we wanted, whether it's through pulling in the victim and crying, or whether it's through saying something to get what you want out of the situation. So we have learned how to do relationships from such a false premise of how relationships are done, that it's no wonder we live in this world where relationships rarely last, because we do not know how to communicate with each other. We're communicating with each other from our wounding points. You know, it's the football field analogy, and, you know, you going on the whole, you know, 80 yards and then having to do the whole thing. It was like you learned that from someone. You know, I get this all the time, especially in discovery sessions, when women are telling me, you know, like, I want to get a divorce. I feel like I'm doing everything. He doesn't take me out anymore and all these things. And it's like, first of all, you are a creator, period. Yeah. You cannot get anything in your relationship that you're not giving to yourself, and B, not seeing and expecting, because your level of expectation says everything. So then it goes on into those unconscious patterns that cause us to behave certain ways in relationships with men or women, whatever it is. And we're used to being that way. So we're just constantly doing this to each other. And it's the same dynamic that comes together. The beautiful thing in it, though, is that on a soul level, two people come together who have matching patterns to help them ascend higher. That's how it's designed to work.
Right.
Most times people come together and then they like do this to each other.
Yeah.
We can learn to speak to each other eye to eye, soul to soul, rather than always feeling like we are needing to protect our hearts, because that's where it comes from. You know, protecting your heart. You go into fight mode, right? He's not doing this. He's not doing that. He's not meeting my needs. Well, you're not meeting your needs. There's no possible way in hell he can meet your needs, because you 9 times out of 10 don't even know what your needs are.
Right. Yeah. What you're not getting in your relationship, you're not looking at what it is, how you contribute to that, or what you're not giving to yourself. It's like your relationship issues are almost always about you in general, when you can, you know, look in the mirror and actually, you know, go, okay, this person is not doing this. What am I not doing for myself? Mm-hmm. And what am I not communicating, you know, at the right time? All that stuff. It's that's so powerful. And to have that even ongoing insight and ongoing connection to even be able to communicate what is in your heart, you need space for yourself, and space without distractions, without people, without, you know, anything. It's like, you know, the TikTok, it's like that like, you know, you need that, like, just rhythm, like either walking or being in nature, like touching the planet. I mean, like Mother Nature, it's like she's protecting us. We live on her and with her. And it's like walking in the grass and being around nature, listening to birds. I mean, that is what connects us to God, connects us to the mother, connects us to safety, and then allows us to even be open enough so that we can receive what it is that we need for ourselves, so that we can actually manifest it in our relationships with other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, it's like we're cut off, you know, like the society is cut off a lot of times from that with technology, and even the school system and just all this homework and all this stuff. It's like the tribe, the community, the connection, the, you know, the relationship building it's just like so not as valued anymore.
It's because we're operating primarily out of fear. Like you can tell by the amount of chaos in a civilization how much fear they have collectively. So there's a lot of things that are going around right now, that are going on right now because of fear. If fear causes you to go into fight, it causes you to go into flight, all different kinds of things. It causes the emotional, your body to shut down. I mean, your immune system shuts down, disease develops, and it's all the heart. You know, it's like we're taught from little girls, oh, you're going to marry, you know, the prince and the princess, and he's going to come and rescue you. And then what ends up happening is we see these shiny objects, and we end up wanting them, and then we get heartbroken because the boys were usually raised by wounded mothers and wounded fathers, and so they're continuing the pattern. And then, you know, the age of the women of being victimized all this time is still carrying with us in our ancestral programming. So until we really wake up to that and become conscious of it, it's going to continue until you change it in this space. Until you have to go to work and you have to heal those heartbreaks. You have to go to work and you have to heal your heart so that you can open up and having a loving, communicative relationship. Because if you don't, you might as well just throw in the towel. Yeah,
I know. And forgiving yourself and forgiving actions, forgiving all these things is a huge piece to being able to let go.
And that's all heart. That's all heart. Forgiveness is all heart.
Yeah, it's all heart. I mean, when you can actually go, I'm human, I make mistakes, I own my whatever I'm doing to, you know, harm myself or other people or not be in my truth. When you can go and own that, then and it's like such a powerful place to be when you can say, yes, this something happened. I forgive myself for my actions with that, and really own that and feel that, so you can be free, so you can expand. It's like, you know, when, you know, you think about like the thymus, like right in front of the chest. It's like, you know, the acupuncture point that's literally right behind the, you know, this is the Ren line. The Ren line goes right through our midline of our body. And so with the heart chakra, Ren 17 is right in between the breasts. But if you go from, you know, the throat chakra Ren 22 point, and the heart chakra, Ren 17 point, and meet them in the middle. It's like Ren, you know, like in between, like Ren 21, Ren 20, Ren 19. Those points, you know, all open this whole gateway to the heart, to the thymus, to the immune system. And in general, if you draw a straight line back, you know, you think about the scapula or the two shoulder blades. Those are your wings. So you think about, you know, when you don't feel like you can fly and stretch and be free and open and have that space, it's like having you're like a clipped bird, and you're still everything, and you have the wings, but the wings don't work for you. They're not able to get you where you want to go. They're still there, but it's like being in a relationship that's stagnant, that you're not doing the work yourself with. Or, you know, and it's like, this isn't working. But, you know, if you can't look inside and go, okay, what do I need to forgive, let go, move, change, or heal within my own, you know, higher heart area to allow the wings to even expand and be free, then you can't give that other person the energy and the exchange that, you know, is required for you to get really what your needs are.
Yeah. And also your dreams. Like your dreams and desires are at the heart level. You know, if you are a heart-centered entrepreneur, which is what my community is, that is where your dreams and desires are. So it is so important for you to learn everything you can about the heart chakra. Go on YouTube, listen to Heart Chakra binaural beats. Really, really focus on opening that, because when you open your heart chakra, you can create magic in your life. Like, it's so much easier to love who you are and what you came here to do in an authentic way, that you receive the benefits for your service. So it makes so much sense to do that. There's so many different things. And one of the ways that you can tell if your heart chakra is needing to be even more activated is the quality of your relationships. You know, the quality of your relationship with yourself. There's things that you can do physically, right? Like, we're going to go over different foods that you can consume, you know, having acupressure, acupuncture points for opening your heart chakra, listening to heart chakra meditations. Like, this is what you want to be focusing on right now, especially since astrologically you're being supported, because it is all about heart right now, the divine mother and the heart and light beings coming together to do this, you know, awakening in the world. Like, that's what this year is about. It's not an accident that people are like, oh, what is my soul purpose? What did I come here to do? It's not an accident that you're feeling the urge to know this.
Yeah.
It's happening. Like, this is the time.
Yeah, there's so many people in my life right now that are basically getting divorced, breaking up with their relationships, changing their relationships, losing best friends, changing different relationship dynamics because of all this energy being so you know, just in our face, you know, or it's still spring, you know, spring is the spring cleaning, let go, you know, let that baggage go, change your relationships with yourself, change your relationships that aren't working for you, change what you can so that you can be, you know, in your power and in channeling what it is that you are here to do, and even being open enough to even know what it is that you're here to do. You know, like, it's so interesting with Essentially Pink, my breast health, you know, passion project that I have, my booby butter and my booby brew breast health tea, and, you know, my Dreamtime detox deodorant. And I started that in 2006, and Essentially Pink. And it's like all about like the self-love and the connection to, you know, prevention instead of, you know, looking for cancer, and creating like, you know, tulip tapping and breast massage, and, you know, creating that space, that time for your own self and your own, you know, breasts are all about giving and, you know, receiving. So it's, you know, giving yourself that balance with that. And it's so fascinating to me that I look at how expansive that project is for me in certain relationships, and how that project has been not like contracted in certain relationships. And, you know, the wave of that, it's like our like, I'm just doing, as I was, you know, thinking about this chakra, I was like, wow, it's so interesting. Like, I'm so excited to be changing, you know, my relationship dynamics so that I can be like, oh yeah, I love all this breast health stuff. Like, why am I not, where are my videos? Where are my weekly tulip Tuesdays? Tap your tulips on Tuesday. What I like have all these ideas and all this stuff. And that's why what I'm here to do is to really, you know, like bust through the fear around cancer and around, you know, all the issues around, you know, anything related to health and breast issues and all that. And it's like, wow, when I notice myself being stifled in certain relationships and how that essentially pink grows or doesn't grow, it's like, okay, Lara, you know, like it's so interesting, you know, to me, like, it's even the colors that connect to this whole thing. It's
you know what
awesome.
I think a lot of that is too, is that it's like planting a seedling, right? Like there's the sun and the moon and the rain and the clouds, all of it that it takes, right? To like, perfect conditions, and then it blooms.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Because you also have had to go on a journey of healing and transcending and becoming more open in love and who you are and who you're with and all of that, to be able to even give that to this company and to do this with.
Yeah.
Right?
Because I don't do anything unless I'm inspired to do it. Like everything comes from inspired action. So if I'm not inspired to be working on it, I haven't been working on it. So I'm like, where is it? Like, what is it? You know, now I'm just like, when I've been doing a lot of, okay, let's open up the heart chakra. Like, what are we doing? Take some inventory, you know.
It's that time in the fucking stars.
I know. It's amazing. It's just like, it's so awesome in general. Like, I'm just like, God, wow. I love how everything just like connects so just systematically, but like it's already done. Like,
I know, I love it too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about different foods that you can eat to open up the heart chakra to really get that flowing, like concentrated focus with your foods.
Yeah, so in general, heart chakra is all about, you know, foods that are going to be red and green, but instead this chakra, I think of like fruits and like, you know, those like dragon fruits, or it's like really, it looks really exotic and it's like pink and it's like these different colors, and you know what I mean? I think of like, you know, those like really, like sensual fruit, like, you know, fruits and passion fruits and stuff like that. But like I said, like the, you know, in general, heart chakra is, if you look at physically, it needs blood flow. So this chakra is all about the elements air, that air breathing in, moving the blood. And so foods that move the blood are going to be ones that build the blood, because if we don't have enough blood, then it just doesn't circulate, it trickles. And so beets and, you know, greens and foods that are going to be really chock full, like the chlorophyll, anything that's going to be green is going to be like the blood of a plant is very similar to like the blood of an animal. And so if you're going to be eating, like, you know, you want to think of like kale, chard, collard greens, dandelion greens, things that are going to be really, really, really dark and really, really chlorophyll rich, because that's what builds blood and that's what moves blood. And, you know, in general will really help in general the heart pump. And, you know, foods that are going to be white, like we talked about with the immune stuff, since this chakra is all about, you know, the thymus and immunity and keeping our body healthy and, you know, all that stuff, white foods, you know. And I think of any immune tonifying foods. So ginger, garlic, onion, even honey is a really good throat, cough suppressant and throat nourisher in general. Mullein tea is great for the lungs. Things are going to be open and aromatic for the lungs, like the, you know, the oils of like peppermint and eucalyptus, and things that are just going to be opening the sinus and the first line of defense, the eyes, ears, nose, and throat, which connects us, you know, to our like, you know, immune system. This chakra, I think of it almost as like energetic and or like emotional immunity, you know, whereas like with the heart chakra can be more of like foods that we're actually eating. I think of like the high heart foods. It's like clearing the psychic litter is like it's like emotional food, either fasting and not eating, so you create more space for your liver, your kidneys, your spleen, your stomach to detox, to let go, to clean out. So I think of like high heart chakra foods is no food. It's like water and, you know, minerals and flushing and moving so that the body can actually have a break. And, you know, if the body has a break and the body has like, you know, time to heal, then your immune system is like ramped up so high. So the minute you get around someone that has a bug, your immune system doesn't get hit so low you get sick. It just goes, and you can build back up. But the more you can, you know, come in the world with like, oh, you know, like I'm fasting, you know, a couple times a day or even at night or whatever you're doing, and eat less foods and create that internal space and really hydrate yourself, then that's, I think of like, it's like almost like emotion, like eating emotional stuff, like clearing out the emotional clutter, you know what I mean? And eating in the love for yourself, you know, just like the emotional, you know, like the meditation and the nature and just taking in like that food, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because the higher heart is very that feminine mother, that pink, you know, beautiful color of that Kuan Yin energy. So it's like that beautiful rose quartz and jade energy that's just like, you can't touch it. It just is that flow, you know?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just so pristine and beautiful, and like that big beautiful pink rose color, you know, it's like rose water in the bath and rose spray and just breathe, you know. See, like today I went to the Influx coffee shop, and this place in Golden Hill had the most amazing rose bush. I'm like, I am stopping for this.
Yeah.
And I was just like breathing in the energy. Like I immediately thought of my grandma. Mm-hmm. I immediately connected back into my ancestral karma of what I'm changing and what I'm basically like living on, passing on, as far as like the powerful female energy.
You are the matriarch of your family. Everyone out there, all the women listening, you are the matriarch of the family. What legacy are you going to leave?
Yeah, one of self-truth, self-power. One thing I love about this chakra that it's an old saying that I've always had, and every time somebody gets married, I always write in their card, you know, if anybody ever asks me for advice, I always say, always be right. And right meaning RYT, and that stands for rock your truth. And so whatever, you know, it's like whatever is in your truth and your highest and best is what you need to rock, or you won't have what you need, and you won't have what you want, and you'll just age, and you'll create diseases.
And that doesn't mean your truth is forcing it onto other people or needing other people to validate you or say that that's right. Yes, you can have that. That means owning your truth regardless of whatever they think or say. Like
regardless of what your mom tells you is right, what your mom judges you for, what your mom thinks you should be doing, and what you need to be doing so that you can be part of the family, or you can be accepted, or you can be blah, 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 blah. So, you know, like you learn to take the yummy, you know, stuff with your mom if you have some, and then, you know, cut the stuff that is your truth, not your mother's truth, not your grandmother's truth, not your aunt's truth, you know, and really getting clear, like, is this a belief that I hold for myself? Or is this something that somebody told me I need to value? You know, and so I've been doing a lot of like, kind of like really looking with the micro glass, like a magnifying glass, just going, wait, is this really what I feel is true? Or is this a judgment that I'm needing to subscribe to? You know, it's always so interesting, because I always think, oh, you know, I move so fast and talk so fast and do things so fast. So like slowing down really is helping, going, oh, I can just feel this expansion energy. It's cool.
I know, the whole slowing down thing too, because my mind is like always putting, I literally have thousands of notes on my phone of epiphanies to share. I have enough content to last me another 10 years. Everything. So this whole month has been like just being like integrating it from thought to form, right? And through love, through the channel of love. So it's like thought to form. So sitting in silence has been a challenge and such a blessing for me, because I've gotten it to where I have like 5-second gaps in between thoughts, when that is like record, because before it was thoughts of each other, you know?
I know. I mean, with my totem animal being a bunny rabbit, and bunny rabbits representing fear. So, you know, I'm moving through so much fear. If you think of a bunny doesn't stay still. They're boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, you know, because they're going to get killed. They're prey, right? They're done, you know, snake, they're fox, or whatever. So, you know, for me, I'm like, how can I be a wise bunny and like the old wise bunny in the forest and just be like kicking it, you know? Like, I was with a friend this week, and he's like, God, do you ever relax? You know, like, how do you relax? Like, maybe you shouldn't go dancing and just hang out. Like, you know, I'm like, okay. Like, I'm like, and I had to like think about it. I was like, well, okay, yeah, my favorite DJ isn't going to play tonight. So, okay, like, what is that going to look like? You know? And I just like, was like, let's just try this on, you know, because it's like, everyone's always telling me my whole life, oh, you need to calm down, you need to slow down. And I hear it, but even Alex, who does my Reiki and Theta, is telling me, your guides are saying how psychic you are, and you are just going la 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 la, you know, creating every kind of distraction, you know, like to shut them out. And you know, it's like all this fear, like I'm so scared of my power in you know, in ways, you know, obviously not in a lot of ways, I'm into it, but you know, there's like that shadow of like, I'm not going to be able to connect to anybody. And if I really like ascend and do what I'm here to do, then, oh my God, is someone going to want to like, come after me and be like, and like kill me? You know what I mean? And really get into like my whole like vaccine thing and how
that's so crazy. That's literally all the dumb shit that I've been clearing too. It's like, it's okay to speak your truth. They're not gonna fucking shoot you from the crowd. Like if they do, you go down doing what you came here to do, right? So it's
right.
Like being comfortable and okay with all this old stupid bullshit.
Old stupid. I know, it's so true. And just dismantling that fear, like that Nelson Mandela quote. It's like, it's like this long, but it's like, we're all not afraid. We're not all afraid of like, no one's afraid really of their fear about doing something. It's really the power that they have that they're afraid of. And it's stepping into that power demands the heart chakra to be open, demands the connection to God, demands the connection to source.
Demands the connection to humanity. That's the hardest part.
The tribe, everybody, everything is one. We are all connected. Everybody is connected to everybody else. There's, it's like when you get rid of good and bad and judgment and you come from the unconditional loving space of we're all here to reflect where we need to grow and learn and break these patterns, then it all makes so much sense. And it just becomes so easy. And then
I know when you get to that point where you can say, thank you for the reflection that you are, because everything is inside out. I am like messaging this all day long, inside out. Now here's the thing. At first it's going to be like, thank you for the fucking reflection. Then you're just going to like back away from the situation and you're going to go in your room and hit the pillow.
Oh, I know.
It gets to the point where you're like, you really are. It happens quick, because you healed those wounds that are causing you to be in flight mode. You know, it's like, all right, I see this, I feel this, I know this has nothing to do with you, different faces, different places, same me, so this is what needs to shift.
Yep.
You can become self-realized if you want any success in life and enjoy it.
Yeah, and even being able to be like, oh yeah, that's a part of myself I don't like, and I own it, and I'm ready to change it, and I'm ready to look at it, not just being so scared of like looking at yourself and owning your shit. It's like, it's like that is something that's like so, in my opinion, important to the ability to even see yourself, what you need, who you are, and what you want. And creating that is being able to go, okay, wow, I do this, I don't like this, even within relationship. When you don't own your part, your personal responsibility, that ownership is like in the first kind of like stage to being like, wow, okay, I can see it, so I can change it, or I can heal it, or I can, move on from it.
The more time we spend in blame, the less power. It's like you're giving away your power every time. And the funny thing is, no one's taking your power. You're giving it. You're giving it. And a lot of times you're like, what the hell? I don't want this. What am I going to do with this? So it's like you're just so powerless when you're in that space of blame. And then when you come back to, okay, I created this, obviously not on purpose. So what is it within me that's continuing this pattern? What does it mean? How does this make me feel? And where have I felt this before? Because you will go right to the root of it. You will go right to the root of it. 80% of every situation that you're dealing with in your life that's causing you pain right now comes from early childhood.
Yep.
When traumas happen later in life that cause an infraction in your heart, that's usually karmic experience or life lessons you need to learn that's repeating itself so that you can learn from it. Not be taken out by it. That's not how it's designed. You have to remember your power. You have to remember your power. This is something that I'm working on too. It's one of the reasons why I keep dreaming about yellow roses. Like yellow roses. First, when I was dreaming about them, when I was working, because when I went to my Reiki crystal lady, she was like, you're only at 50% of your power. There's a lot, you're like hiding it. There's a lot. And I was like, damn, if I'm only at 50% of my power.
I know.
So then I'm like, all right, that's got to do it, because it's like a challenge, like got to do it. Right? So then like at first I started dreaming because I was doing this meditation on visualizing each chakra. It's one of the things I teach about being a rose and opening up, right? So then I'll ask my inner guidance, like show me which one needs to be worked on right away. So then I started dreaming about a yellow rose that was like wilting and the petals were falling off. So I'm like, okay, solar plexus, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going, working with my power, feeling comfortable in my power, feeling safe in my power, feeling loving in my power, because you have to connect your solar to your heart. Because when you get that feeling of like, I'm too powerful, I don't know what to do with it, because even the quote by Marianne Williamson, it's not our darkness we're afraid of, it's our light. Because we have been taught that we're going to misuse it, that we can't be trusted with it because of what, from when we were little, no, and trouble. So we're just like, we don't want to be responsible for anything. So when you take that back and you're connecting your solar plexus to your heart, it makes it easier for you to come from a place of love. So when you can get into that motion of being able to do that, and then the dreams were beautiful roses, like beautiful yellow roses. And then when I went back in, she's like, oh, now you're at 60%. That was only 1 week. So in between. So I'm like, all right.
That's good. That's a huge increase for, I mean, because you're doing all these things like the daily emotional clutter and the daily, you know, pulling the stuff and daily regrounding and slowing down and, you know, integrate. It's like a lot of work, but it's like you do that and it clears the space so that it's easier and easier to walk into that power. It's
so much easier. It's like, and the biggest thing I will say is pulling that Mother Nature energy, knowing how to do that consciously, like pulling that mother, that Shakti energy in, yes. Right? That Kundalini energy into the body and expressing it out. That's what's making it so much easier, because you realize you're not doing it alone. You're part of something much bigger. So it goes from being a concept to a truth that you can feel. And then it's like a beautiful journey, a beautiful expression. I mean, this from that to that is 1 week in time. Like, it's because I know how to do it. I mean, I teach it for a living. This is my program. It's like easy to move through it, because I know that there's something that's coming that's preparing all of us for a grand finale. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so true. And even like in general, like physically, like when you are thinking about, like when you're caring, when you think about someone that you love or someone that you're caring about and they're doing it too. And you guys, it's like, can take like under 15 seconds. And then your heart actually beats are going to like resonate. And then it's like that energy, when your heartbeats are actually like matching up, you can transcend the energy in your body. That's why people can have like these radical miracle healings when they're you know, doing like the healing codes and these different things. Like Dr. Ben Johnson healed his Lou Gehrig's disease by doing these healing codes. He was on The Secret, and he basically was channeling love energy into his different body parts and into his thymus gland and into his, you know, like throat chakra, all this stuff. I mean, when you can get into that love space, it literally changes your chemistry. And, you know, you can like walk on, you know, fire, and you can do all these things that are you're connecting into the whole consciousness of everybody. And that's like, you know, with part of that, like, oh my God, it's just so cool. But you have to have the self-love and that space to be able to actually practice that regularly and be able to like tap that in and be able to unfold all this stuff.
It's helped so much tapping into the goddess energy.
Oh yeah,
there's a different goddess for each chakra. And when you know which one it is and you can tap into that energy and you feel that energy and she starts showing herself in your life, it's like, oh my goodness, it's so amazing. It's just like, it goes from being words to like a real life experience. And then before you know it, everything in your life is just flowing exactly the way you want it to go.
Yeah. It's like effortless action is what I call that. Like when you know, like think about what you want, you draw it in, you feel it, you can just manifest stuff. Like it's just like the craziest thing. And like for me, like I'm such a fast manifestor. I like have to be careful, because like if I think of something like scary or negative, I was like, oh my God, there's a fern, the cat is going to knock the fern down. Probably I need to move it. And then, you know, an hour goes by and the fern is on the ground, you know what I mean? Dirt everywhere. I'm like, Lara, I have to get better at like move. The minute I think of something that is easy for me to change, that I can see as a problem, I'm just learning to act on it, because this effortless action just gets more and more and more. And then the minute you don't listen to it, or the minute I don't, then there's a problem, as much as that there's something phenomenal. You know?
See how even on the micro, like learning through the cat knocking over the plant, like think about the macro. Think about like the big business decisions. Like you're going to trust yourself more and you're going to do it. So it's like, thank you to the cat and the plant and my own self for creating that. You know?
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. Yeah, no, I know. I never ceases to amaze me, and that's why like I'm kind of like, you know, like with Stephanie, my psychic aunt. You know, I didn't even used to let her do readings on me until I was like maybe 20 or over 20, and I was so overwhelmed with so much information that I was just blocking everything and just distracting everything and being really busy and really distracted. And it wasn't until I started urban acupuncture where like, you know, met Janet and like the Reiki and Theta, you know, started doing that myself personally, going,
because if you started to do that shit on your own, that is literally like opening Pandora's box. This is why they say do not activate your Kundalini energy unless you have help. Try to do it by yourself.
It's intense and it's hard. Yeah, I know. When I met Janet, it was like, you want to do what? I'm like bawling in her room, like, whoa, But now it's like, okay, this is like, now I'm like craving like the spiritual energy and the psychic energy and calling it in and using it and having it. It's so, and now it's like fun and a game, like that funny orange thing. And it's just like everything like that is just boom, 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 boom.
And then we get to do it together.
I know, that's what's so great, because one of my main fears was with doing this work and really, really taking essentially pink, you know, internationally and like worldwide, is that I'm going to be alone doing it. And that's so stupid to think. It's such a small, but it's like, oh my God, but the more I connect into like, we are all connected. No one's alone. Everyone's here. You know,
each other. Hello.
Hello. I know.
Fear tactic, like to stay where you are, because we're going to be out of our comfort zone. Rather than the truth is, all the people that are even coming to promote you and support you are all in support of you. And that's how they build the foundation of the company anyway.
Yeah. It's our silly monkey mind, you know, and it's like, okay, Lara, like this isn't, you know, you can do this. This is fun. And the more that, you know, the more that you invite me and do it, it's like, oh, okay, I can still be with everybody else. And I don't have to be like over here, you know, doing, you know, being in my power where I'm like missing out with like everybody else. It's like, no, like, come on, that's an illusion that creates me to have an excuse to not be in that out of comfort zone space.
Well, the awesome thing is that the reflection is all these women that are coming in that just love and adore you, that are helping you, like changing that whole collective belief system that we can't do it together, right? That we have to like fight each other. And that's like not how we are at all. We're like helping. So we're like, oh, we did it when we die.
Yeah. Because I love that, because the competition is like, it's so silly to me. Like, you know, there's like a million acupuncturists around my place, and my friends are like, oh, aren't you so mad the acupuncture moved? I'm like, so mad. No, I love that girl. Like, Natalie's cool. She does readings. Like, you know, I see her when she parks her car. We throw out on the street. Like, you know, like it's like the more I can support other women and people in my life, that's just the energy that feels so good. It's like I want to feel good. You want to support and love people. And it's like, with that knowing that there's unlimited amount of whatever it is that you need and want and can have. If you operate from that, then it's like, it's just silly when you box yourself in and let your, you know, like silly shadow mind just be like, you know, like,
there's like no competition. There isn't. It's not a real thing, because we are creators, and so we create our own realities, and so we bring people to us that are perfect for our message. And the most amazing thing about knowing the creative plane is that all those other people that are doing the similar thing to you, that's the modality, but it's not the source that's flowing through you. The source that's flowing through you is you and your team, and they're all supporting each other. Because if it was just one of us yelling about acupuncture from the rooftops, not everybody would listen. But because there's more like here at all levels for everybody that needs to go to these certain places, it's like everyone gets it, because now we're on the same page. That whole competition thing is old world, masculine imbalance. The truth really is, when you're connected to source and your divine intelligence and you're acting on inspiration, you know that you're loved and trusted, supported, flowing, and everything is coming for you. So
totally.
Fears of competition, there's an imbalance in your belief system, and that needs to get right away, because it will take you out.
Yeah, it'll take you out. And like in general, if you think like the thymus like shrinks, like when you're a kid, it's a big, but like it like atrophies and like shrinks down because of like all these like low vibration feelings. It's like, oh my God, like, you know, you have like this jealousy. It's like, it's like these limiting belief systems that like shrink you. It's like, God, no wonder, you know, the thymus is like shriveling. It's like, that's our ability to maintain our immune system. And, you know, like in Chinese medicine, that's like the wei qi, or like the defense qi that covers our body. It's like, we don't have that on tap. You age, you know what I mean? Your nervous system goes down, and
life force.
Yeah, vital. It's like, it's exactly, you know, like the more you can amp that up, it's like eating it's eating good energy food, you know, clearing out psychic litter, you know, it's like this chakra. It's like, you know, I do this thing where I like pull and release all energies that don't belong to me. And when I say it, it's like this twitch. It's like really weird. And then, you know, I send it back to the light, and then I call in everything that, you know, all the parts of myself that are fragmented and gone, or, you know, in a mind with somebody else, and pull that back in. And then if I'm downloading myself with like love and healing energy, it's like that love food that's opening me up and protecting my defense, or my ability to call in what my soul needs, so that I don't get, you know, I can't get fragmented, even if it's really windy and our wei qi gets broken. And like, you know, it's like just that energetic protection.
You know, the next phase of the consciousness above that is realizing that everything is all one and there really is no such thing as fragments. You just bring it back.
Just bring that. Cool. That's awesome.
The next one. That's the next level. Because, you know, you are already whole. Like, literally.
Totally.
All you have to do is open up to your soul connection. That's it. Like, you're there already.
Oh, awesome.
It really
okay.
is. Yeah.
That's even easier.
It is easier. It is. I know. I remember that whole soul fragment and all that other stuff too. I'm like, it served me at the point that when I was there, needing to call parts back to me, cleansed and washed by God. You know, that thing. And then realizing, even hearing April say, like, where do you get such silly stuff? Like, you are not fragmented. You are whole. You are source energy in human form. You're connected to the stream. All you're doing is pinching yourself off.
That makes sense.
Stop on pinching yourself, then it'll just continue to flow through. And it's like, oh.
I don't.
So that's the next.
Okay, I like that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think of like fragments as being like memories, or if I'm like thinking about someone, or I'm like connecting to them in a way, like, and I'm taking on energy from them. But I like what you're saying.
It's like broken. It's like a piece, fragmented of the whole. Like, everything is already all connected.
I see what you're saying. Got it. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So like thought forms, you know, like your energy that you're plugged into them, you could pull. And Archangel Zedkiel is really good for that too. Like any kind of Archangel Zedkiel.
Oh, okay.
For any kind of energy that's not yours or whatever, people plugging into you, it's like quick, the veil, because he's a violet.
Oh, okay, so if you want to, like, in general, instead of doing that, like, you know, series, if you were to if the way that you do it is basically just you're already perfect, whole, and complete, and you're just calling that to cleanse, calling that in and stating it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and then what I'll also do is because like when you go into other energies, you know, we are all connected, but obviously there's energy that people are going to bring in that you're not going to want. You just, like you do, just send back their energy to the light, you know.
Okay.
So you're doing it anyway in that part, sending it all back to the light. So just call all parts of you back to you. And
got it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, however you do it that makes you feel good, like just keep doing that. I just am saying through the series of evolution, the next phase is realizing that you are whole. That is a fiction of your, you know, illusion. It's the illusion.
Yeah. Well, when you said that, I got an immediate image of like all these all these strings that connect, like this interconnected web on, like, you know, it's like the image of like all the energy of everything, but it's like all these like interconnected web of how every single thing is connected physically in our cells and energetically, like outside the realms, and when you can feel energy, and you can, I totally got it. That was great. Thank you. Yeah,
because the way that all the energy is managed is the law of attraction. So love vibrates, abundance vibrates, you know, passion vibrates, like all these different scales, and you're plugged into each level that you're in. So when you're sending away the energy that's bringing you lower and connecting to the energy that's bringing higher, it's like you're moving up the vibrational scale.
Yeah, that feels so good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I know it feels so good. But I wanted to say an easy acupressure technique to do to keep this heart chakra open. That's not necessarily like, you know, a meditation or anything, but it's just basically like the light tapping, like all across the chest. I mean, like I have obviously the tulip tap, but the tulip tap is basically going up and down the high heart and heart chakra, and then around each breast. But even if you're just like lightly tapping, or even strong, like I like to push, you know, in the interconnected, in like in between the intercostal spaces, and tap and move, and you're just basically calling all this energy into the thymus, loading up the thymus with love and energy, and that is that ability is going to, or that doing that is going to increase the thymus's ability to help you with the telepathicness, help you with the immune system, boost up your defense mechanisms, help every system in your body, like in general, clear it out, open it out, you know. I love doing this like this tapping is so, there's a whole series of like emotional freedom technique tapping, but I just love, like when I'm like, I think of it as like dipping my hands in like vibrant pink paint, or like teal paint or turquoise paint, and then like almost like like just like tapping that love energy, that vibration of health, of power, of like love, and just
like your declarations, you know. I am love, I am, like whatever it is. Carol Tucker has a money one, like one on money, where she has you tap on your chest right here, and you're saying, because she does EFT too, and have you say different things about money, like I am financially free, I am a good steward of my finances. So you're like programming that into your body. And then the good thing too, also, tell us a little like more about the thymus. What does that govern?
Well, the thymus gland is basically a gland that governs our immune system. So our ability, it connects to the lymphatic system, which is our detox. Our lymph system is basically, it's an interconnected system that's tons of lymph in the neck. That's when you get sick, you got lymph nodes, and it goes down through the breast, through the stomach, and then it collects a lot in the growing area. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of times, like when you stagnation, I like to just do padding, like tapping, like around like the whole lower growing area, up and through the breast, up and through the chest, up and through the throat. But the thymus, is like one of our main organ, like a main glands that sits just below the thyroid. So you've got the throat and the
throat.
Yeah, like the thyroid is in the throat, and the thyroid is, different than the thymus. But the thyroid is like the throat chakra gland, in general, that is going to control like hormones and energy and mood regulation and weight, all the like hair and all kinds of stuff. But just below that, underneath the larynx is the thymus gland, and it's big when you're a kid, and it basically shrinks as you like after the age of 75. It's like it goes away almost. You can't even see it in your body. Like it goes into like the adipose and fat tissues. It's really trippy.
I'm sorry. Is it because it becomes atrophied?
Yeah. After it's the right before puberty, and when you're a child, the thymus gland is the biggest. And it's like those big, like when kids are like telepathic and talk about their past lives and, say things just like you're like, wait, you were a builder? Like what? Like they're the closest to God. They're the closest to their last life. And so it makes sense that this is the gland that controls the immune system. Kids always get sick, in general. So they need this gland to be bigger and stronger. And it makes sense that kids are so open and free loving and carefree, and like their heart chakras are usually wide open. And then as we age, like the thymus gland is going to atrophy and then almost be hard to even detect after the age of 75. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, here to keep us healthy and strong. And then over time, the lower vibrations and what we're taught shut it down. Yeah. How we're not worthy and the receiving thing and stuff like that. So it's trip. And so this just helps power it up, power the thymus up, help the immune system, help the governing body so that you don't have to get sick or have to be forced to slow down or speed up to make,
or keep attracting heartbreak to yourself, because when you're in a pattern of attracting heartbreak, you're going to continue to attract it. And you know that 1 in 4 women die of heartbreak disease?
Well, heart disease, heart disease, high blood pressure. I mean, all these things that are connected to the heart it's all about the relationship to yourself, to others. And are you communicating your truth? Are you rocking your truth? Do you even know what your truth is?
Rocking your truth. That's the thing.
Exactly.
We're communicating it because we don't feel safe and we don't even trust ourselves in it because we're so embarrassed because of life experience that we never even knew how to be connected like that.
Yeah, I know. And trusting others, even if you feel safe, trusting others to be able to communicate to and have that be safe for them, and that whole dynamic. It's so, it's all of that is so widely connected.
I feel like the heart chakra is one of the most important portals, not only because it is 1,000 times more powerful, but because that's where the center of everything is. That's where your love is, that's where everything is. This is also the reason that it's in 2 areas of all my courses. There's 2 areas, the primary and secondary heart chakra, because it is so important to heal that heartbreak and open that up so that you can love again and feel trusting and loving again. And this also goes for loving again in your business, for loving again in your relationships with your children, with your friends, everything, like with everything. So going the heart work is the most important work that you do.
Yeah, the heart is more intelligent than the brain, and the way that the heart can connect and transcend. I mean, it's like why robots can never really take over or whatever, because the heart, it's like you can't make consciousness. It can't, or it's just, it just is, and it's so cool. Like the way that, the way that you can just like the miraculous healings that can happen and what can happen when you're connected to God and connected to self-love and connected to your heart. I mean, that's why there's so much fear around this, because it's so powerful. It's like you know, people, you have to feel worthy. I am worthy of my own truth. You know, in general, it's like, you know, karma that I feel like that I have this belief that I need this person to fulfill my karma. Wait, no, I can do my work anytime, anywhere. And it's so interesting. It's like with the work with yourself and like the ability to transcend time and space. And, you know, it's like that tapping into that power it can be so scary, but that's why it's so powerful. That's why the heart is like that's why with heart transplants, you put them in other people and all of a sudden they want pickles and they're having nightmares and the memories are stored, you know, in the organ. And it's like, that's not, you know, not as like common with any other transplant in the body. You know, the memories in the cells that are in the heart change the people that get the transplants. And it's like, you can't explain that with any other like thing, you know. It's like, it's like beyond miraculous, you know, when you think about what, you know, like how much heart disease there is, how much heartbreak there is, and how much fear there is. And then, you know, like, okay, this makes so much sense as a society.
I know. And I'm just so excited that there are women like us that have figured this shit out and are teaching the world, because it's so amazing to be able to watch. I mean, you see it in your clients. I see it in my clients. What happens when they start to open this and become more of this? They look younger. They feel younger. They're more beautiful. They're radiant. Life is flowing for them. You know, it really is so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah, when you get so healthy, you know, it's like you can radiate when your body is humming. When you put that high or like you know, the premium gas in your, you know, car, it's like this is what, you know, you feed yourself the energetic food of I'm worth it. I deserve to receive. I deserve a tribe. I'm worthy of giving. I am loved. That's why my favorite, like the affirmation of the breast health one is I am love. It's I'm important. I matter. I am nourishing myself with love and joy. I'm allowing others the freedom to be who they are. I am safe and free. I am love. You know, and when you allow other people and you don't control them and you love them for who they are and who they're not, then you can create that space and the expectations go down and you're open again. You can fly in your wings and, you know, the energy in the back. Like a lot of people store tension in their upper shoulders and back. Heart chakra. This is high heart chakra. You know, just even like tapping, like pat on yourself on the back. When you do that, you're literally tapping, you know, T2, T3, T4, you know, and that's the energy of the lung. That's the lung master point. That's our Wei Qi, you know, just like this is tapping here. I go pat on the back, give yourself a pat on the back. It's like when you do that, good job. It's like you are saying to yourself, mirroring back the proud and energy that you deserve to actually be in health. And so it's like, it's cool.
And then you do better in every area of life because you're loving yourself in that way and you deserve to be loved in that way.
Yeah.
We have to love ourselves like we've never been loved before, right? We can only come from parents who are capable of loving us to the extent that they had the ability to love. And a lot of us wasn't that much.
Right.
So now we have to learn how to have that love from the divine creative energy in the universe and express that through ourselves. You know, I love that you're doing the breast health thing because that's where our women's Shakti energy is. That's the energy that we're giving out, right? And then we receive through our womb. So it's like giving and receiving and giving and receiving. And the more that you come back to your feminine space, and this doesn't even matter what size your breasts are. It doesn't matter if you even have them anymore or not. This is where your power center is because this is where the heart is. And that's where you express it out. And when you can learn to do that, you literally can learn to create anything that you want in this world because you manifest like that, because it's a magnetic field.
Yeah.
You know,
totally.
Amazing.
Yeah. I know. I love it. Well, thank you. I love doing the breast health stuff, and it's the area that I need the most. It's like how we manifest things that we need the most, you know. It's great because I have this bunny rabbit fear, and I'm like, okay, how can I get slowed down enough to feel safe enough? Because it's like, you know, every single wound, or like the wounds that you have in childhood, every relationship you're in is basically mirroring these wounds so that you have a reflection so that you can actually heal the childhood wounds that you have. So it's like thanking and blessing everybody you can't stand in your relationships for showing you, teaching you, and mirroring to you an opportunity to heal your inner child wounds so that you don't repeat them again.
Yeah, and of course that requires you learning the tools to not only have the courage and the confidence to be able to know that, to have discernment, but also how to heal and transcend it without needing your partner to do it for you.
Oh yeah, you have to do it for yourself. Yeah, expecting other people to help you heal your wounds is not the way to actually get them healed. Because it's like if your dad or your mom didn't give you X, Y, and Z when you were younger, you have to learn to give that to yourself and yourself where your parents, because it's like you have to do that job for them to be able to heal that dynamic in a way, you know? So
yeah, and it requires you being broken open, even
yeah,
if it doesn't feel good. This is why it's obviously better to do it in program format with other women who are doing the same thing, who've been on the journey, who can help you through it, so that you can see beyond the illusion. So that is what Lara and I are here to do for you. So thank you, everybody, for being here with us. I'm going to post this on YouTube, so if any of you want any life-changing information, you can just go to my YouTube channel. It is youtube.com/Unleash Your Sexy Now. There's lots of videos on there, astrology, Reiki, money Reiki, all the Lara classes are on there too. So look for more from us. And Lara, thank you so much for joining me. I do love you, and I can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Oh, I know. I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Randina, for even having me on here. And I love talking to you so much. And it's just like, I'm just so incredibly grateful for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.